Well, hello, and welcome to Community TV with Adaire. This is TV for you by TV from me. And this is where I talk to people in the community who are doing amazing things to add value to the lives of people around them. What they do is, it could be anything from meditation, a yoga class, learning to cook, reading tarot cards, healing, physical fitness, or gardening. Whatever it is that you're interested in, it's going to be covered right here, and it's going to be covered by people who are serving the community. So what we do is we explore with special guests information and ideas that will help you live a fuller, more happier, healthier, and more productive life. Today, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce my special guest at this special broadcast time, Shakti Durga from Shakti Mission. She's joining us for a fireside chat discussion on the benefits of energy healing and how it can change your life, from everything from alleviation of suffering to transformation into deep peace and absolute bliss. And I know this works. I've experienced some of the Shakti Mission workshops, and they've really helped me get to a place where I am today, and I'm absolutely eternally grateful for that. Now, Shakti Durga was a former lawyer turned energy healer, and she's the spiritual teacher and sacred musician. She's been practicing and teaching energy healing for over 20 years. Now, as a master healer, Shakti Durga has trained hundreds of healers and helped thousands of people overcome acute and chronic problems, whether it's health problems, releasing the heavy burdens associated with trauma, relationships or family breakdowns, or helping people to build the energy of their business. Really important stuff this. Shakti Durga is remarkably effective at promoting a deep and lasting change in those who seek it. She's the founder of Shakti Mission. It's a charitable organisation that operates in Australia, the USA, the UK and Canada. It offers programs and services that help people to find greater peace internally, which transforms their lives. She's the author of 5 books and 3 inspirational card decks, and has numerous meditation, chant and sacred music CDs, which are available through her website. So a huge welcome to Shakti Durga. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here today. How are you?
Thank you. Yeah, it's lovely to be with you.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. I do see that we have your I can see your image on the screen. I can't see that we actually have video, but we have audio, which is the main thing, because we want people to hear you. When we have video as well, that would be awesome. I think it may have something to do with your internet speed, but we have no control over that right at this point. So let's move on. Shakti Durga, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to go from being a lawyer to a healer? How did that happen?
Well, it happened when I was in my late 20s. I ended up going through a bit of a marriage issue and got divorced when I was in my very early 30s. And I had a small child, and I was a working mum, and I had my own practice as a lawyer. And so it was a very stressful time, and I wasn't sleeping very well. And I had a bit of postnatal depression, which I didn't even know I had. I just thought everybody cried a lot when they had a baby. And it just was a very tricky time. One of my colleagues said, "You're a mess. You really need to go and do something with yourself," and suggested I learn to meditate. And I thought, well, it probably isn't going to hurt me, you know. So I went along and learnt to meditate. And then the people who taught meditation taught personal development programs, so I did those. And one thing led to another, and it just changed the quality of my life so completely. And I've got to say, I was a bit of a skeptic. I had no background or interest in any of these things before life kind of massaged me towards that direction, if you see what I mean. Mm-hmm. And then my health wasn't so great. I had a very bad bout of bronchitis that went for 6 months. Traditional sort of Western treatments didn't really do anything to help me. And I just was very tired and chronically unwell. as you can imagine, that wasn't good for business. It wasn't good as a parent. And then another person said to me, go and see an energy healer. I think I might have laughed because I thought energy healing was totally a frou-frou thing, you know, for crazy people.
Yeah.
But then I went and had it, and I just couldn't believe how well I felt. And, you know, within a couple of days, completely gone. And I was so fascinated. How could that have happened, you know? And so then I wanted to learn it. I just wanted to learn. And since then, it's been like a passion that's been undiminished by time. And I've studied a lot of different healing modalities. And now I receive a lot of the methodologies for healing through meditation. So I sort of connect, I don't know, with some kind of healing energy in the universe. And then it just flows through. And yeah, it's been my privilege to work with a lot of different people over the last 20 years and help them on their healing journey. And interestingly, people...
Yes, go on.
I'm fascinated by the fact that, like me, a lot of people get onto healing and meditation because they're stressed or because, you know, their health's not so good or they've got family problems. And these are very good reasons for turning to something different, something that is non-invasive, that's not going to hurt you, it only has upside. But then what happens is, as you start to sort things out, you realise that this is giving you so much that you want to keep doing it anyway. Or you know it, you know, you just going through all these sort of inner changes and you just can't believe how good you feel. And you get to process things that, you know, have happened in your life, but it's not like you have to go and relive it. It's kind of like we pull the energy out of it that's been stuck inside you for all that time. I meet people who got divorced 15 years ago and the pain they're still going through, you know, the angst and the suffering they're still having, the heaviness in their heart. You know, when I ask them about it, it sounds like it happened last week, but in fact it was 15 years ago. And to help them release that energy and to get themselves back, I've got to say it's the most precious thing. And I just absolutely, you know, love being able to help people with that. And so, of course, that naturally led to training other people to be able to do that as well. And now we're all over the place. And
that's amazing stuff, because I know when I first engaged with your work and the Shakti mission, I actually found I had no idea what it was, and I was a beautiful lady, Kiri Devi, as a friend of mine, who said, you know, I'm doing this workshop on the weekend, you can come along. And at that time I was, as you say, in great pain, in incredibly intense pain, because I was going through a really bad time. And I guess you're right, it's like if life's going swimmingly and things are going well, we're not likely to look for things to, it's always good to look for things that will improve it, continue to improve it, but it's usually the pain that leads us to looking for solutions. And I had no idea what it was that she was talking this strange language to me. It was like Shakti mission, she was talking about you, Shakti Durga, and I thought it was something like a milkshake, because I had no idea. It was and I had no idea about it, but I knew there was something inside me that said, you have to be there. And I just felt drawn to be there, and I went along, and I'm actually getting a bit emotional because it was such a profound impact on the, like you said, removing the energy blocks to actually move forward, to do things that I never thought that I'd be able to do, and actually feel at peace in my life in huge areas where there'd been years of a lot of blocks. So I know firsthand how powerful this stuff is. And I was actually from emergency services, and it was it's black or white or bullshit. So so there was no woo-woo stuff involved, and it was a huge, huge thing for me. So what I'm going to ask you to do now, because we actually have, like, you're frozen on the screen, I'm going to try and see if we can get you to refresh your screen, drop out of the broadcast and come back here. And we'll just try this once, because I would love to see you. Like I said, we can see an image of you, but I would like to actually see you IRL, like speaking. Yes. Okay, so we're going to try this. So viewers, what you can do is Shakti Durga is going to drop out, come back in, and if you have any questions or any comments you'd like to make, please make them below. I'd love to know where you're listening or watching in from, because this is an interactive broadcast. So we've got over a dozen people hooked in. We want to see who you are. We'd love to be involved and engaged with you as well. Tell us a little bit about yourselves, where you're from, and if you have any questions for Shakti Durga, please ask them in the comments below. And there we go, beautiful, worked a treat. Welcome back. So while you were out refreshing, Shakti Durga, I have asked our viewers to pop in. They seem to be a bit shy. Normally I have viewers on that are like, we get comments going and people are interacting and engaging, and that's the beauty about live broadcasting on Facebook, that we can have that level of interaction. So we will we'll see if people do start. I'd love to know where people are from, because I know that you've put it out to your networks worldwide, and we've already had contact with Viada, is it? Oh, Vidya Durga. So while we're watching for people, I can keep an eye out for that. If you want to tell us a bit about the Shanti Mission and what Shanti Mission does, what its purpose is, and how you do it.
Yeah. Well, after going through my awful divorce situation, I then met my soulmate, fellow traveller, and he also was a spiritual person. We'd both had our families, and we got together thinking, you know, we've had such great lives. Wouldn't it be great if we could give back? How would we like to give back? What could we do that would, you know, say thank you for all the blessings that we've had in our lives? And we came up with the idea that peace was the thing. The most important thing we'd learned of everything was to try and have more peace. And so the word Shanti, it just is such a nice word. And so Shanti Mission, the mission of finding peace within yourself, just seemed to cover the things that we're interested in. And so it started with the healing work, but from there it spread to helping families. We have a great vision for what we'd like to do in the future, with special programs for people going through divorces, special programs for people who are suffering from infertility, because we've had great success with people who are trying to have babies, clearing out stuck energy, which stops them from being able to conceive. And then, you know, they're able to conceive after that. Just trying to open the eyes of the world to the wonders of energy healing in properly trained therapists, you know. And for me, I think that it doesn't really matter what modality you practice as an energy healer. What matters is how much work you've done on yourself and how clear you've become in terms of how you're serving your people. And one of the problems with consciousness, of course, is that we don't know what we don't know. And sometimes we don't even know how blocked we are. And only our life's problems give us the opportunity to go into another classroom by which we can then start to sort things out in a way that we haven't done. So yes, Shanti Mission has evolved to have 4 arms. So there's a healing arm.
Oops. And we have lost Shakti Durga. She's just dropped out of the broadcast. Bear with us. This is new technology, people. It's brilliant technology when it works, and there's no point getting upset when it doesn't. So she's popped back into the broadcast now. I think it might be a bandwidth problem, but like I said, we're hearing her okay. We've got people here from Adelaide and Sydney, and welcome to you all. So Diane, Michelle, and Viada, I'm going to get that name right at some point. Yes, continue, Shakti Durga.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where we got up to, where you heard me. So I think I was talking about we've got 4 arms now. So there's a healing arm, as I've been talking about. We also have a number of seminars that we run to give people tools for helping them to manage their energy, to manage their lives, you know, to get in touch with their souls so that they can really get a deep level of inspiration happening in their life, and to help them be more illuminated and inspired in what it is they want to do and how they can solve their problems. I really love the teaching side of what we do. We also have a community aspect in that a lot of people find loneliness a big problem in their life, and so and other people just want the joy of fellow travellers around them. And Shanti Mission is a kind of a worldwide family, you know, where the English people come out here and stay with us. If we're in England, we go stay with them. It's just really fun. It's friendly. You meet new people, and the thing is, we all have a spiritual interest, and it doesn't matter what faith you're from, or you know, everybody brings their own uniqueness into Shanti Mission. We don't try and have a one.
Now I missed that last.
Am I back?
Yes, I think you're back. We just missed that last bit, Shakti Durga. So,
the last bit was about how we welcome people from every different faith tradition, and we don't try and change anybody. We just help people go deeper into whatever they're doing, because I guess our expertise is energy, Holy Spirit, things like that, soul, and everyone's got those. Everyone's got souls. Everyone's got a spirit. And when we understand how those things operate and how to interact with them, then suddenly your spiritual tradition seems to light up. And whether you're a Christian or a Buddhist or a Hindu or a nothing, as in we have agnostics and atheists in our number as well, you seem to be able to light up with love. And that's, to me, what it's all about, that we can be better people and that we can find our place in this world, and that we can calm ourselves down when things are difficult, and that we can really love wisely and well. To me, that's the main and most important thing of all. So, yeah, and then the final in Shanti Mission is about love. It's about devotion, and how do you find the divine? So through my training, I've done a lot of training in India, and so I've been, given a lot of help to give people blessings that are very strong, that help them, and so that tradition becomes a tradition of love. It's like the help is given and received through love. And we see a universe of stars as all of our souls light up, and we help and support each other in a loving environment, and also love of the divine, of whatever flavour that is for you. But one of the things about us is that you don't have to do any of the devotional stuff. If you're just interested in healing, well, just come and do healing. No one says you've got to do the other stuff, you know. But what happened to me was, after doing all that healing and personal development work, it's just so fascinating to open into the world of pure love that it kind of becomes a bit addictive, you know. It feels so good. And you experience so much bliss that I never even knew bliss was a thing. I didn't know you could have bliss in your mind, and your whole energy field and your whole being could just be full of bliss, and that could be the way you live. Never knew that. So it's certainly been a journey for me.
I think that's something that, you know, I may have experienced little glimpses of, and when you get it, it's like, how do you sort of step into that and to stay in that space? But I think for a lot of people, it's how do you get into that space in the first place, and if you've got that opportunity to see that bliss is actually achievable for everybody. So and everybody can do it. I guess it's their own path and their own timing. We can't rush these things. I wanted to get there from there right straight away. Unfortunately,
wouldn't that be good? We just go, bliss, do not pass go. Do not clean up anything that we need to clean up. Bliss straight away. That'd be great. I don't think it works like that. But anyway, it's amazing what people can achieve for themselves. But like anything, there's maintenance involved. So if you want to maintain a really healthy body, you have to look after it. You have to do things to look after yourself. And the same is true spiritually, that if you want to have the experience of bliss and intuitive consciousness, whereby you kind of just know a lot of things that you didn't get taught, an intuitive way of connecting to the universe, then there's practices you can do that will help you to stay in that state. And that's what we seek to share with people in our seminars. And I'm actually coming to Adelaide, and I haven't been there for a while, so I'm really looking forward to seeing my friends in Adelaide and to meeting new people as well. And we'll be at the Theosophical Society this coming weekend. And I'm teaching a seminar on Saturday and Sunday called Evolving Human Consciousness, and different ways that people hold their consciousness.
Yeah. hang on, I'll write that up. Evolving human
consciousness. Yeah, and a lot of it's about, you know, some people on a spiritual path find that after they've gone through this evolution, some people find that it's hard to talk to the people they used to have in their life, and that they don't know what to talk about or how to talk to them, because their paradigm has changed so much. The way they think has changed. And so this seminar is meant to be to empower people to build bridges so that they can understand how to do this. And the people who've done it have absolutely loved it, because it's very, as I say, it's empowering, because you get practical help, practical tools on how it is you can reach out to people who are different to you, not to try to change them, because I don't believe that we should be trying to change other people. I think we should be changing ourselves, you know. But how can we be authentic, and how can we live in a state of having good boundaries and being assertive with what's our truth, at the same time connecting and communicating with people, so that we really have a conversation, instead of both sides just going, well, you're a rat bag, you're wrong. You know, how do you do that? So there's lots of fun stuff we do. And it's also very musical. And Vidya, who is one of the people who's listening today, he's a wonderful musician. He's based in Adelaide. He's a sacred musician, him and his wife. And so they'll be with me for the weekend. And on the Sunday morning, we have a standalone event. If people can't come for the whole weekend, on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock at the Theosophical South Terrace, we'll be having a musical meditation. And so we'll have lots of sacred music. It's really fun, uplifting. And the objective is that by the end of the meditation and the music, people will experience that bliss I was talking about earlier. And yeah, meet some really cool people as well.
And I've been to several of the satsang. Is it satsang? I have problems with the pronunciation. And I do find them extremely uplifting. I've been to the musical evenings as well. They have a different name for those. Like I said, it's like a different language for me, and it's so and it probably is to many people who are newly exposed to this to this sort of type way of being. But it's absolutely it is amazing when to go into that environment, to connect with people who are wanting to connect and to be in a space of, like I said, learning about bliss and love and good communication and connection. It really is. I always leave the events that are put on by Shanti Mission. I always leave the events really feeling a lot lighter and a lot more peaceful, and more on purpose as well. I think there's a huge benefit for that maintenance, as well as, you know, if you're just going to learn for the first time, it's amazing as well. It's a safe environment to do that. I do have a question from Diane, who would like to know some of the physical conditions that energy healing can help with. Now, I do remember you said earlier in our chat that you worked with people who are looking to conceive, but I'm sure there's a whole array of medical conditions that it can help with.
Yeah, well, basically energy can get stuck in any part of your body, and stuck energy is something that's generally going to put you into a state of ill health. And that stuck energy can build up because of anything, toxins in the environment, the way we think. You know, if we're very negative in our thinking, if that's the way we've been brought up, if we're very critical and judgmental, if we're around toxic people and we kind of just are always in the energy of a sort of a toxic mess, over time it builds up. So one exposure isn't going to matter. You know, dozens of exposures, you can still deal with it. But if it's enough and over time, it just suddenly, you know, your energy field can't cope with it, and it starts to slow down, and it can't deal with anything. And so whatever part of the body is closest to that blockage is going to break down. So therefore, energy healing can help with any condition. I'm not saying it can heal everybody, because that would be a bit utopian to think that any what method of healing can help everybody. But we can help most people with most things. And so, for instance, we had a lady who had her heart was beating so fast that she couldn't sleep, and this had been going on. She'd been on medication. She'd had all sorts of terrible problems with the heart. She had a few healings, and all the fibrillation stopped. Didn't stop. It went to normal. Hopefully it didn't stop. We do want her heart to keep beating. She was able to sleep again, and just such a great thing for someone. Other people, if they're preparing for surgery or they've had surgery and they'd like help to recover, we help with that too, so that they don't have so much pain. We're really able to help people with pain management in a big way, because pain's energy, and if you sweep that energy out of the person's body, it makes a huge difference to their capacity to function, even though the pathology might still be there. If they've got no pain and they're just going, oh my God, this is just amazing. Other things like to help regenerate, like the liver. If your liver's been in bad shape, we know that the liver can regenerate itself, but we can speed that process along with energy healing. There's just no end to the things. Cuts, eye infections, anything. We've been able to help people with such a huge range of things. And so my advice to people generally is, if you've been suffering with something and you just can't seem to get on top of it, try energy healing, because like me with my bronchitis, it really was incredible how much energy came out of me in that session, and all this stuck energy in my lungs. I didn't know that I had stored a lot of sadness and grief in my lungs. I had no idea it was there, and that my lungs couldn't function because it was all gummed up energetically. And science tells us now that everything is energy. Even the desk I'm sitting at is just made of energy if you go down deep enough inside it. And so that's what we're really doing with healing. And we create a wonderful environment that people can, continue with their Western medical treatment and have healing, or, just whatever's right for them. Yeah, so there's some of the things.
So, and that's awesome. And I do have my own story. I had quite bad asthma, and my body was covered in psoriasis. And part of my journey was, and the energy healing is actually, I guess I could say I've cured myself of both, because I no longer have them. And because none of the traditional medical treatments worked. And it was really that journey on going through the clearing the negative energy and keeping the energy flowing, without getting rid of the stress and the toxins and toxic people. And now I enjoy a asthma-free and a psoriasis-free body, which is just, astounding. Because when I was diagnosed with it, the dermatologist said, how do I get over it? And he said, you're just going to have to live with it. And when I was diagnosed with, it was adult asthma, it was in 2009 actually. I said to the doctor, I said, will I grow out of it? She said, no, you're going to have to manage it. But both of those, I no longer have treatment for either, and I've been free from both for several years, which is, it is absolutely amazing what you can do with the energy healing. It is. Now, we're just about out of time, but if you had one thing that you could share with people that they could do perhaps right now, that would help them if people are hurting or wanting to move forward in their lives.
So one of the ways that energy travels through our body is in the breath. And so we can use our breath combined with visualization to do all kinds of great things. So if you've got pain in your body right now, you can just take a deep breath in and imagine all the energy in that breath going into the pain. Imagine that it's going into the pain and dissolving it, that the clean energy in the breath you take in is dissolving the dirty energy of the pain. And just breathe it out. So you just breathe into the pain, and then with the out breath, you imagine the cloud of pain just being breathed out of your body. So if you can imagine the pain's like a cloud of energy, and you're going to let it release like smoke out of your body. So you breathe into the pain, and then you breathe out through that part of the body that's in discomfort.
Beautiful. What a great tip. That is awesome. And I think
little
that's been fantastic, and we've managed to hear your message despite the technological issues that we've had. I would love to have you on the show again for further discussion and conversation. And what I would like to do, we've got Angie. Oh, my pronunciation! I really have to apologise today. And Jay Kovac is saying thank you. Really needed that. Beautiful message that you have, Shakti Durga, and a great gift that you're giving to the world. I'm actually coming along on Saturday, so if anyone is in Adelaide, it's not too late to register. You can register. There's a link above. I think it's a bit.ly link. It's called Evolving Human Consciousness. Just click on that link and you can register and come along. Rochelle is here. She's saying thank you. Now people are popping up and saying hello and thank you. It has been awesome, and I really appreciate you taking the time and coming to share your wisdom and your gifts with us. Thank you, Shakti Durga.
Thank you. Thanks, Adaire. See you on the weekend.
Okay, bye for now.
Bye.